Accelerated Math Objective 155. Use a double or stacked bar graph to represent data. In question 82, a youth baseball league ran a concession stand from May to August. The table shows the league's profits for those months. We can see they have listed food and drinks separately, and then they have each month, May, June, July, and August, with all of the amounts that they sold. Which bar graph represents the league's profits as shown in the table? So we can look at each of our graphs and we notice that the months are listed at the bottom along the x-axis, and then the profits in dollar amounts are listed along the y-axis. In May, we can see that they sold a total of $750 in drinks. So let's just start with choice A and see if we can find the right one. Here, our white line represents our drinks, and we can see that they sold about $750 in drinks. In food, in the month of May, they sold about $500 worth. So we see that we have the correct amounts for May. Moving on to the month of June. In June, they sold a total of $400 in drinks. We can see that our white line for drinks only goes to $300. So we know that this is definitely not our answer. We can mark off choice A. Moving along to choice B. Again, we see in the month of May, they sold $750 worth of drinks. Our white line shows us that this graph only represents $500 in drinks. Also, if we want to be absolutely sure this isn't the right answer, we look at the month of May, and they sold $750 worth of food. According to our chart, they only sold $500. Choice B is definitely not our answer. Moving on to choice C. We can see that in May, they sold approximately $750 in drinks, and in food, approximately $500. So that matches our graph that's given to us. If we move on to the month of June, we can see that they sold $400 in drinks, which matches our chart. They sold $300 in food, which matches our chart. Moving on to July, we have $300 in drinks, which is the same, and approximately $200 to $300, so we could say about $250 in food in the month of July. So this still matches the chart that's shown. Let's check the month of August to be sure that this is the right answer. Our graph shows us that in August they sold between $1,000 and $1,100 in drinks, which is $1,050 is between those two numbers. So again, this is definitely close to being the right answer. Let's check our final one. The amount of food sold in the month of August goes all the way to $1,000, which is exactly what they sold according to our chart. Therefore, we know that answer choice C is looking like the right answer. Let's go ahead to answer choice D just to be sure. Our graph shows us here that in the month of May, about $750 in drinks were sold, which matches our graph, or our chart that's given. And then they sold $500 in food. So that's the same. In the month of June, we have $400 in drinks, the same as our chart, and about $300 in food. Our chart still matches. In July, we have $300 in drinks, and between $200 and $300, or about $250 in the month of July for their food. Finally, let's look at the month of August. In the month of August, they only sold $1,000 in drinks, which doesn't match our chart. And to further show it doesn't match, the month of August, this bar graph shows that they sold between $1,000 and $1,100 in food, or about $1,050. We can see that here they sold $1,000 in food. So answer choice D is not the correct answer. We were right with the first choice of answer C.